back, but I just handed off my 30th steel case design with a studio that I've been dying to work with for quite a while. I just finished handing in my 30th for a really 1980s type of slasher horror film. I can't mention which one it is. Steel case with Shout Factory.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy. Welcome to another episode of the Lo-Fi Horror Guys, growing on you live. Today, I'm going to have the one and only Orlando Arocena. My man is known as Mexifunk, a vector artist, tons and tons of really cool stuff. He's done some great steelbook artwork. He did the special alternative covers, the Sugar Skull covers for tons of horror movies, which were 20th Century Fox. He did some stuff with just all sorts of companies, Marvel, Disney. My man is doing some great stuff. So Orlando, what's up, man?
Yo, what is up? What's going on, bro?
Not a whole lot, man. Thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for having me on, man. It's just
what an honor.
I was like, I was freaking stressing out this week, man, because like when you asked me, I was like, oh shit, man, I've got so many things on the palette, you know what I mean? So many things on the docket to get done for today, and I'm like, fuck it, man. I'll jump on and just vibe with you and the crew, man. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, Phil. Thank you so much, man. Did you get some sleep? I know you said you had a long night last night.
Oh man, I'm wearing some like slightly tinted glasses so you don't see the bags, bro. But it's okay, man. I'm no prima donna, man. You know, it's like you got to run with the scars and the cuts, bro. It's all good.
Beautiful. All right, so if you haven't seen the show before, basically we have a couple of introductory questions here for you. Just little icebreakers, something fun, and then the remainder of the interview is the body about you and your craft, and then I have one finale question written just specifically for you, sir. So if you're ready, we're gonna get this going.
Dude, I'm here to hang, man. So let's play, man. I just hope that the Wi-Fi connection holds up. You know, I'm all the way down in Bogota, Colombia, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah, very. So let me hit on that for a second. Asking, my wife and I do some traveling. So if we wound up in Bogota, Colombia, tell us a local food staple or a local eatery that we would have to stop by.
Oh man, a local eatery.
According to you,
snap. According to me, I'll tell you what, man. I'm like in downtown, so I'm nestled between like really two cool parks that are just surrounded by just restaurants and like bistros, and my wife and I miss it so much because of this damn stupid pandemic, man. You know what I mean? But there's one place right around the corner that sells these really down to earth, hearty arepas. Arepas are from Venezuela, and they're almost like empanadas. You know what I mean? Oh, empanadas are like these like deep fried, corn crusted. Almost like almost a snack within a pack type of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So they throw like spiced garlic meat, or you could have like a chicken salad type of thing, or like a chopped up steak with onions. I put it this way, man. It's like the Philadelphia Philly meets South America in like an empanada type of thing, man. It's just, they're called arepas from Venezuela, man. And like
arepas.
Even when my wife makes them, man, I'm laid out. I eat two of them, and I'm laid out. Like no matter what's on the TV or what's on the screen, I'm just gone. I'm gonzo, bro.
Dang, sweet. Wow, that sounds amazing. I'm going to have to look up something to possibly toss something.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different dishes, bro. I mean, they have like this one dish that's called like the La Bandera Paisa, which is like, they're the Colombian staple. You get like a huge steak, plantains, blood sausage, pork chop. I mean, this thing is like a meat lover's paradise, where like your arteries are just like yelling, "No, don't do it!" But like your soul is like, "Just give me the grease and the cholesterol, do it." You know.
Damn.
And it's all dirt cheap down here, man. It's like their idea for fast food. Our idea of fast food is like, the typical go-to burger joint type of thing.
Right.
And you pay like, I don't know what the prices are over there up north anymore for like a freaking go-to burger thing. It might be like $10.
Right.
Over here, dude, you get like a freaking steak the size of my wrist to my forearm, with rice and beans and plátanos and like a drink, all for like about $3.50, man, US dollars.
What? Oh my Lord! Oh my God! Yeah, man. Look, just the food alone. I mean, you're selling me on. I don't know why I'm still here. Dear Lord! Wow. Oh my God!
I hear you, bro.
So let me ask you this: if you and I were making a horror movie, all right, something to do with some monsters or something that you could conjure up, and I asked you, I said, Orlando, I need you to come up with a villain. What would you come up with as far as, maybe like a monster or like a vampire or a giant insect?
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. It would have to be something off the wall, unexpected, with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek kind of humor, man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think that it would be like you and I would be the directors and the creative leads, but also star in a movie about zombie speed metal mariachis, bro.
Oh my
They're a touring band. They're a touring band that's going all around the frontier on the Mexican-U.S. border, and they're just playing speed metal, but they're zombies, bro. They're like zombie mariachi speed metal fucking, heavyweights, bro.
Oh my Lord. I got to run something by you. Have you heard of a movie called Uncle Peckerhead?
No, time out. Uncle Peckerhead. Wait a second.
Look,
I mean, I've worked for Troma. I should know all these things.
Dude, right up that alley. So look, it just came out, I think, either late last year or this year, and it's about a metal band who's going on their first, or it's a punk band going on their first tour, and they pick up a roadie who at midnight turns into a zombie and eats the shit out of people.
Oh shit! It's already done, man. You see? You see
that?
How keen we are? Uncle Peckerhead, dude. I need to watch that, get in contact with them, and see whether I could do a really off-the-wall profanity type freaking limited edition print for that poster.
Hell yeah! It is great. It is such a silly kind of take on something. Really, really good.
Oh, dude, I'm there, man.
I don't know why my camera's zooming in on me, but it'll go back and, I'll just edit it for your beautiful
face. I don't know, man. I think you got like the dramatic app turned on to that thing, like all the way cranked up to 12. It's like, just zoom in. Drama.
Just continually. I don't know what's happening, but we'll keep going with it. So hit me with your art origin, just kind of where the interest started for you and where it went from there.
Oh man, I'm a kid from the Bronx, New York City, and I don't come from a very artistic family. Like I don't have like any uncles that are like creative directors or working in the studios. I was a low man on the totem pole of 3 kids, single mom, and I really didn't talk much growing up. I just wanted to draw. So my mom would leave for the day and leave me with like a few people in the building to watch me while she was at work. And they were like, hey, what does it need? TV? Well, I was like, yeah, leave the TV on, and here's a bunch of markers and ballpoint pens and paper. Just leave him alone. He's not going to mess with you. When he's hungry, he'll tell you, but leave him alone. So, I was really inspired by everything that was around me. And I'd jump on the train with my family, and I'd see, like, all the graffiti, because it was back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
All the graffiti mobbed out freaking trains, and I'd be like, whoa, and I'd be reading names and looking at different characters, different B-boy characters with their, Kango hats and the gazelles and the big Adidas shell tops, and I'd be like, oh, shit, look at that guy. And there was always one guy with, like, this one ski mask visor, they would call him Ski, and he'd be, like, just chilling with the bling off to the side, and I'd draw him with the skull face on, but at the same time, I was totally mesmerized and intrigued by all of the other visuals on my peripheral. The
Sure.
movie posters on the subway station, the advertising for sports affiliated gear, and that whole mix totally set me soaring, man. That it was that, and then later on, when Japanese anime was coming on, I think at the time we only had about 5 channels of TV. Channel
Okay.
11, Channel 5, and all the other things. You would have to wake up stupid early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, to catch something that was from Japan. Battle of the Planets, G-Force. Man, I would wake up super early just to watch that, just because the style was so much different than everything else that was running at that time.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things inspired me, and I took it further into wanting to know more about, all the different elements. When I ended up going to college, I went to Pratt Institute, and at first, they didn't want to accept me. I didn't have that much of a strong portfolio. I had all these drawings on typewriter papers jammed into a binder, and they're okay. Meanwhile, there's other people that were on this portfolio day that were coming with their mom and dad and butlers and handlers. They're carrying 8-foot rolled up canvases, and the kids rocking Liberty spikes, and and their mom and dad has their Argyle polos on. I'm just get the F out of here, man. You know what I mean? So, so they're you've got some skills. We just don't know whether how to apply you. So they were listen, we'll give you one more shot. It all relies on one piece.
Okay.
And the piece that I ended up submitting was I ended up grabbing some scratch board, and I was what the F is this? Let me see if I could do anything with it. Maybe it'll impress these people over at Brooklyn Pratt Institute. So I did my version of a Frank Miller Wolverine profile in black and white in Scratchboard.
Oh, okay.
And I did some studying. I did some studying about Greek mythology and how they would celebrate their myths and storytellings on these funeral urns and picture bowls, and it would be kind of a black and white visual tribute. So I was that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to let them know. I'm going to let them know that this piece is dedicated to the energy and the strife of the individual, and it's captured by our urban myths within Marvel, which is this Wolverine character, and I did him in Scratchboard to just be a throwback, homage to the Greek mythology. Dude, I sold that motherfucker through, and they were holy shit, why didn't you come through like this the first time? I was well, I just wanted to show you my typewriter sheets, man. You know what I mean? My typewriter drawings.
Right. Okay.
But ever since then, I jumped around, man. I ended up doing I started off really rough because I graduated in '94, and there weren't any computers throughout the '90s. So at '94, everything went computer literate. All the agencies went computer literate. Everybody had a particular machine that you needed to know, and 3 different softwares: Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Quark. And here I am, 4-year degree, with no computer skills, and I was oh, damn. It took a while. My plan was to basically try to align myself laterally with where I originally wanted to go. I wanted to stay within the entertainment biz,
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I got a job at Warner Brothers, studio store, the big retailers. And, from there, I got in the ground floor doing retail, doing greetings and stuff as you come in, and sooner than later, I ended up being a director for their animation gallery in store, and I learned a lot. And then from there, I just kept on jumping around. I've had many different hats. I've been a security guard at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, so I could basically have 3 days off to paint and be really intimately close with all the traveling shows and artworks. My first official studio gig was with Lloyd Kaufman and Troma Entertainment, Troma Studios.
Yeah.
That was a riot, man. Holy, what a freaking rock and roll job that was, man. That's when they were still over at Hell's Kitchen, man. And that was just intense,
And that was late 90s, right?
Story. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen. That was 97. Right on the corner of I want to say 50th and something, I think 8th or 9th. It was all on the west side, man.
Oh,
but
okay.
man, it was a dilapidated 4-story brownstone, bro, with like lead paint peeling off the sides, and you're just like, what the hell? I thought this was a movie studio, man. And I knew about them. I knew about them growing up, so I thought it was just going to be plussed up. You know what I mean? I didn't know that the celluloid film that they shot actually was hung on their wrist. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's right. Us, man.
Right.
And like you get there, and I'm just like, what the hell? So they're like, hey, we're going to introduce you to your creative director, and this is where you guys are. So we go through like what used to be somebody's living room with like folding tables and about 15 web guys there, like, who hadn't slept a fucking day, greasy hair, mopped down to their shoulders. They got flies buzzing all around them, like they're Pigpen from Charlie Brown. You got one guy rocking a Kabuki, Sergeant Kabuki Man helmet, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, right, that's cool. That's cool. And also, I turn a left, and it's like 2 other guys in this small, nestled room, which was like a kitchen. Right? With the cabinets are still there. The cabinets for the dishes are still hanging on the wall. And these guys are working on their computers. They're like, hey, welcome to the creative team. And I'm like, what the? And they're like, that's your seat right there. And my seat was literally, I had a decent seat, but my desk was like a sink with like a wooden tabletop thrown on top of the sink and like a Mac machine thrown on top. And I'm like, it's just like, all right. Okay, man, it's punk rock. Let's roll with it. Let's go.
Yeah, well, you're here.
But it was sick, man. Doing all the different. At that time, web was booming. And they hired me to come on to be part of the Troma village that they had online. So they're building out everything that they had as equity on the print movie side, and everything was just being transferred over digitally, so that we could take over this whole Tromaville type of thing. And it was great. I learned a lot about web, a lot about, that James Gunn would pass by every now and then when he was in the city and just be like, hey, what's up, everybody? Like, oh, shit, what's up, man? And, it was really cool, really cool. After Troma, I ended up working for Shooting Gun Interactive, which was Harvey Weinstein's Interactive and independent. Yeah, I did. I was their creative director there. After that, I basically, after that, they freaking cut the whole damn team because the company got bought out. So it's like a week before Christmas, and it's like, peace, people. And I'm like, all right, whatever, take care. But no, man, I've worked in the industry across many different hats, man. I've worked and been a creative director for a magazine called R Zone, which is for Toys R Us back in the day.
Yeah.
It was an entertainment lifestyle video game, tips and tricks, so having to deal with a bi-monthly magazine taught me a lot about, the whole budgeting thing regarding advertising and sales per page. And after that, I ended up being hired to go start a illustration department within one of the subsidiary agencies for PepsiCo. And then after that, I ended up just being a creative director, design director for another agency that handled a lot of Diageo products. I was strategizing and working on campaigns for like Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Jose Cuervo Tequila, Guinness beer. And that's where I learned a lot more about commercial and advertising and strategy and brand personality and all that crazy smart stuff that I was like, all right, after about 20 years of that, I was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to go back to my art, my graffiti, and let my hair loose. And that's when I started jumping into like the whole movie fan art thing.
Yeah.
And luckily, the studios picked me up, and it was also through the help with the poster posse that I ended up breaking and charging down through some doors and doing some strategy for them. And it's a fucking wild world, bro. You know what I mean?
Crazy. When exactly do you have like a definitive moment when you realized that being able to do art was a reachable goal? Was something that you could actually do for a living?
Oh, bro, let me tell you something, man. I didn't wake up to that realization until probably just yesterday. No, No, honestly, man. When I was in high school, man, I remember my guidance counselor going, "Hey, can we have that? Can we have that chat?" And I'm like, "Birds and bees, no, dude, I can't do that with you, man." They're like, no, man.
My parents haven't even talked to me about that shit. Leave me alone. You freak.
Dude, I think I learned about that just solely through watching Friday the 13th and Halloween movies, dude. You know what I mean?
Teach you everything you need to know.
Anyway, that's it, man. Seriously, you take your multivitamin, Flintstones, pep in the morning, and you're good, man. No problem.
There it is.
You know. But dude, honestly, man, I didn't know anything about art. I just knew that the typical that if you went into art and you're successful, you'll die by the age of 21, and you'll never be able to reap your benefits because everybody will be like, "Yeah, he was a great artist, but he's dead now." You know, he didn't have much to go with.
Yeah.
So I wanted to drop bombs, dude. I wanted to fly like 3 times the speed of sound in some stupid, crazy aircraft and just drop bombs. You know, yeah, go. And my guidance counselor was like, you should go into art. You're really talented. All your teachers love your notebooks and your sketchbooks, and you get sent down to the principal's office for a reason because you're really good at what you do. And I was like, whatever, man, they're cool. But but when I first reached it, I think it was I don't know. I think it was that day back in Troma, man. Seriously, it was a day in Troma that I love talking about where Lloyd comes in and is like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, Troma, we need a 4th-story tall, taxi for the side of the building. I need it by the end of the day today, okay? Take care. Thank you." And I look at my creative director. I'm like, "Is he always like that? It's like fucking 9:30 in the morning, man." He's like, "Yeah, no, he's like, don't worry about it."
Oh my
I'm like, "Hey, let me get started." So I'm cranking in my sketchbook, and I'm doing all these different ideas for Toxie, and I'm like, yeah. Now it's around lunchtime, and I'm the only fool cranking on my computer, on my rig. Everybody else has gone to lunch, right? They come back, it's 2 o'clock. I've got this thing like almost done in Photoshop, and they're like, my creative director comes in, he's like, "What are you doing, dude?" And I'm like, "I'm doing that mural, bro." And he's like, "Dude, you're supposed to do it in vector, man. You can't do it in Photoshop, man. It's got to be the size of a building." And I'm like, and he's like, "Dude, I hope you know Illustrator." I was like, "Dude, well, something about that. That interview that we had, and I told you I knew Illustrator. I didn't know Illustrator, man. I only know Photoshop." And the guy's like, "Well, you better learn that shit fast before the day's over. Otherwise, you see that cardboard box on the floor? Pick it up, grab all your personal belongings, and adios amigos." And I was like, so and at that time there was no YouTube that you could go on and be like, "Hey, man, how do I learn Illustrator within 30 minutes?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's ridiculous, these tutorials today. But I ended up going back to what I knew about hand-drawn cell animation and the way that they would throw down the paint and the different shades for flat tones for highlights and middle grounds and shadows. And I was like, "All right, cool. Let me open up this Illustrator thing." And I remember I spent an hour just banging my fist on the damn desk because the paintbrush doesn't act like a paintbrush in Photoshop. And the pencil doesn't do anything like it's supposed to do. And I'm like, "What the hell am I doing here?" So I was like, "Okay, you know what? Let me scan in my drawing." And I found that fountain pen tip thing, and I was like, "All right, click, 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 click," and just building shapes. And I was like, "Here's a color." Okay, dude, I saved my ass, and it was the first time that it was my first real vector illustration ever.
Holy shit! No kidding! Wow.
Yeah. So leave it to Toxie and Lloyd Kaufman to have me go and venture in an area graphically where not too many illustrators today venture in. I mean, that's the other reason why I stood within vector. I've seen through the agency's eyes designers just turn into small little crying babies about vector, like, "Oh my God, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And throughout the years, I realized that I was like, "Okay, cool. If I just keep on playing with this, having fun, trying to emulate it the way that I would throw up a mural through aerosol on a wall," I was like, I think I built myself in a class away from where everybody else is playing, which at the time was Photoshop and still is.
Sure.
And not saying anything bad about my buddies and my sisters and brothers that are there. I just think at the time for me, I just needed a challenge to try to think ahead and delineate myself away from if everybody's going to be so comfortable over there, let me be the only one uncomfortable here and make the best of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I know too, I've seen, one of your posts where you mentioned about your dad saying about being the shark and constantly moving forward, and your tattoo with that. And that's a really, really cool thing. And it's kind of a mentality where, bam, there it is. I mean, how important is that to you as far as keeping comfortable, but also having in mind, like, all right, I gotta try to move on past this and see other sites.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's really tough as you get older, and I'm very thankful. Bottom line, I'm very thankful that there's even people that we even have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful that people are viewing my artwork, or they're requesting for me to collaborate and play with them. I never call this what I do work. I hate calling it work. Therefore, it's like I love collaborating. You could be an independent director and have a very small, limited budget compared to, the big dynasty studios from Hollywood or around the world, and I'm still ready to throw down with you. We might settle upon a Chinese menu list of what's permissible, and, because I just don't want to go over budget, but I enjoy playing so much that I don't like to say no, because you don't have enough money to play up to where I'm at with the other guys. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Fuck that, man. If you're calling me, then holy shit, man, I made an impact, man. I need somebody who knows my work, man, or knows my art. And sure, let's play. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to build upon that. Open up doors to new opportunities. You never know who these people might turn into, or what the relationship might manifest and result in. So yeah, that whole talk with my dad, and being a shark and moving forward because sharks don't go backwards.
Right.
It's true, and I love sharing that when I get invited to do lectures and show and tells for like Adobe or for HP or for some of the art universities that I've visited. Thank you very much for all of those. I like to try to motivate folks to understand that it takes it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
You have a lot against you. Every year you have over 100,000 different graduates of art students graduating and being part of this world. And now with the internet, there's even more ways to self-promote and get yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell these guys and girls that don't be afraid to be different, or to be odd, or to be ugly.
Yeah.
Be ugly. I mean, seriously, be hideous ugly.
Yeah.
You're gonna catch some attention. If you become run of the mill and you focus yourself into a style that everybody else is doing, or God forbid you steal someone else's style that's been dead for years or still alive and very popular.
Yeah.
Shame on you, man.
Yikes.
It's like, if this was the Bronx and you copy my graffiti style, well, I'll hunt you down. I knock on your door at 2:30 in the morning, invite you to come out to eat a little piece of a sledgehammer. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's sick.
But moving forward, it gets tougher, man. It gets tougher. I'm really finding it tough these days. Being busy, being able to collaborate, being multitaskable, but yet there's this inner yearning inside to go, hey, you need to explore a few more. You need to explore a few more programs, or at least try to explore something more traditional, tangible. I'm really into this kick of going back into the more tangible, traditional aspects of art, but mixing it with the digital. Maybe your references and your research all starts off on a digital platform, and then you take it backwards into a more traditional aspect, like woodcuts or
Yeah,
that's the other desk that I had that's just filled with all my traditional stuff. And
awesome.
I think that's something that I've missed within the past 15 years of doing digital and doing gallery shows that were digital, where I missed that exclusivity, that one-off, that tangible piece that, like, you're almost terrified to, especially when you're almost down to finishing, you're like, oh man, I better not drop that extra drop of white paint on this thing. And you're like, oh, shit.
Right.
But I think that teaches. I think that teaches something about ourselves, as far as planning and how to manifest what you want as a goal and what you want to achieve.
Sure. Sure. Okay. And so let me touch on, earlier you had mentioned, the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens. What is kind of your horror origin when you were younger, maybe even the first horror movie that you watched?
I'll tell you what, man. I think I took a big Brooklyn steamer on my mom's lap when we were in Mexico, and they were showing a midnight showing in some church basement, dude. And Mexico's like all Catholic, man, all Christian.
Right.
Right? And they're like, yeah, esta noche, en el sótano, la exorcista, a las 12:30 de la noche. You're like, and my mom loves horror movies, but she's deadly religious, so the whole damn clan, the whole Mexican clan went out there to go watch The Exorcist, right? In Mexico, in the basement of a church. And I'm seriously, yeah. Dude,
yes, sir.
I'm seriously like less than, I don't know, about 5, 4, 3. And I remember just being there and I saw that shit and I was like, I just let it rip, man. I was like, no, get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here. I was like, get me out of here. To this day, man, I hate being cliche or being stereotypical. I tell my wife, I love my wife so much, man, because she is the best teammate to go to like any movie, any function, because she gets thrown into it, man. So horror movies is our thing, man. So she's like, let's watch The Exorcist. Yeah. I'm like, I turn into like a little bitch. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it. She knows, man.
Oh my god.
And
at 4 or 5.
Peter! Oh, shit. Yeah, no, man. I just can't deal with it. You know what it is, man? It's like being Hispanic, being Mexican, Cuban. Is totally not like being like, hey, I'm from New England. I'm a New England Puritan guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we grew up like with like witchcraft and like dream interpretation and like really sick folklore omens that you're just like, what the hell, man? They're like, oh yeah, no. If you had a dream that your teeth were falling out, you better watch your back this week. It's like we come up with like so many different conjures of like, just evil folklore. Like nothing's really good. Everything's like really dark and mysticism and brujas, La Llorona, all these guys, man. And you're just like, so when I look at horror movies that affect me, I'm like, yo, I can't deal with it, man. Like, but I love horror movies, I just can't deal with like The Exorcist. I could watch anything else, dude. Anything else.
Oh my god.
Amityville Horror, man. I remember watching that. We went to go see that. Me and my brother and my sister. My brother's like 13 years older than me. My sister's 5 years older than me. My brother had a day off and he's like, let's go see the Amityville Horror in the movie theater. We went to go see it. No problem. Boom. My mom and my dad went out for the weekend. They won't come back till Monday. So we're all left alone in the apartment. Guess what? We come back and my brother's like, totally like, oh, that shit doesn't happen for real, blah, 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 blah. And I'm terrified. He's trying to calm me down. The fucking lights blow out in the whole building, dude. There's no electricity. The whole apartment goes dark. God. So my brother, for some reason, after 5 minutes of like, oh shit, this is happening, he's like, dude, I'm going to scare the shit out of my brother and my sister, man. So he goes on for like a 2-hour freaking roller coaster emotionally of like scaring the shit out of us in the dark after watching Amityville Horror, man. Of course I love horror now, you know what I mean? I embrace it.
Right. You can't not. It's just one of those things that it just sticks with you and you have to keep on going all through life.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Let me ask, okay, so with those mentioned, in specific, 3 horror scenes that are forever ingrained in your brain. 3 scenes that just have never been able to leave your head.
Oh my God, there's so many. Hold on. Holy crap. I'll tell you, man, it's definitely the Exorcist towards the middle half, third act, when they're really just going down with the chants and they're laying down on her, and Linda Blair's just there and she's like, and Father, the younger priest is just like, but the older priest is waiting for him to end the prayer. He's like, end the prayer. And all of a sudden, Linda Blair's face just comes around like, ah! And he's like, and I'm just like, fuck that face, man. I don't think so, bro. There's that. Sure. There's so many scenes from like even Jaws. I'm an avid fisherman, man. I love kayak fishing. I do it at night like an idiot by myself. When I was living in the States, and I had shark stories, man. And I'm just like, oh shit, here comes Jaws. But there's scenes from Jaws that literally I'm like, you know what? I'm good, man. I'm up to like my armpits in water. That's deep enough, man. That's cool. I could see the land. I'm fine. Sheriff Brody's my man. I'll tell you what, man. There's the banging noise and the wheelchair from the Changeling with George C. Scott. That fucks me up, man.
Yeah.
Totally fucks me up. With the kid on the water, like boom, 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 boom. No way, man. No effing way. What else? What else is pretty dynamic and out there that really screws me up?
It's even something funny. I can mention. I can hit on with you. You mentioned Jaws as far as I saw. That was probably the first movie that I ever saw. The first horror movie I ever saw. And growing older, there was just always newer things that I appreciate about it. And to this day, I feel like one of the creepiest moments to that movie is when they're all sitting in the boat cabin. And you have him telling the stories, and telling about how, he just barely missed on, getting eaten by the shark and getting taken over and da-da-da. That scene and that conversation is one thing that it gives me chills as I watch it now. It's great. So crazy. It's funny because like for the longest time it was the music and it was the shark attacks and different things. And even now, it was like recently I watched it for an interview I did a couple months ago and I'm just like, oh, boy, that even this conversation is fucking chilling.
Yeah, man.
So many angles to it.
It's one of those movies that for me will never get old. It'll never get old. I could see myself having kids and going, okay, it's summertime and you're gonna watch Jaws. Just like my dad did. My dad was like, you know what? I'm gonna show you this awesome movie, man. It's called Jaws. Let's go. And crack open a few beers. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Next thing I'm walking out.
If you love water, I'm going to ruin it for you for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah, that's my dad, man. That was my dad. My dad was like from Cuba. He loved water. The guy was like, Mr. Aquaman Castro type of guy, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And fishing all the time. And next thing you know, I'm just like, oh, snap. Dude, the scene with the two guys on the pier just jumping, just throwing a chain link, piece of cow. Of cow. It's not even a steak. It's just a cow. Yeah. And they throw it in there. Dude, there's times where I would flash back to that scene while I'm on the pier with my buddies and we're doing crazy shit like that. And like bringing up dogfish, like 4-foot sharks out of the shower. And just like, and they're like, hey man, get the hook out of his mouth. I'm like, that ain't getting in there. What's wrong with you?
Have you ever seen
the blocks, man? We don't put our fingers into freaking traps like that, man. No.
Oh God, that is funny. That's funny. All right,
I just want to take a second to say hi to everybody that signed on, man. I'm seeing all these like guys popping up and girls popping up, and they're asking questions and saying hi. Just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and for all your support. Hopefully we could all have a beach party one day and worry about sharks.
Hell yeah. I wanted to hit on, a couple of years ago, 2017, you created 19 alternative covers for 20th Century and MGM. So first and foremost, I wanted to ask, were any of those, a request, especially from you that you're like, can I just have this one movie included? Or were they all pre-selected?
Oh man, they were all pre-selected.
Yeah,
they were all pre-selected. They're coming directly from 20th Century Fox. There's a few MGM titles in there.
Yep.
And I remember getting the phone call from Neuron Syndicate, and I was getting ready to jump on a plane to go to Colombia. All right, I mean this project seriously is like, I love it. It's opened up so many doors for me, and also was where I ended up meeting my current wife during that whole timeline, because I took the project on the road with me.
Oh wow!
To Colombia. Yeah, and it started off with 35 titles. 35
Holy
titles.
Shit! Dang.
And they were like, "Can you get this done within 2.5 months?" And I was like, "Man, I'll get this done in a month, bro." I was
35?
from the Bronx, bro. I know that. Yeah, 35. 35 titles, man. There were titles on there that I was like, yes! And then obviously there were a few that I was like, all right, I got to watch this movie, you know? And
yeah,
that was the beauty of it. Like, if I didn't know the movie, if I didn't know the movie, I was watching all of them, you know? I was like, yeah! You know? They were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching a movie. Again? Dude, it's what I do for a living, man. What
it's research.
About? You know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But it was awesome.
So what were
there are titles on there? There are titles on there that I just from the list. Oh, dude, Child's Play, Return of the Living Dead. You know, when I saw those guys on the line on the list, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna turn this motherfucker out." You know, I was like, that was it. You know, but it was wild. You know, at first it was a little bit shaky ground because they were like, you know, the studios were like kind of really concerned upon whether the mix of the whole Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, you know, iconography or style, whether they were going to get some type of backlash from the Latino, Mexicano, Mexicanx type of community, and they're like, "Oh man, you know, maybe we don't do this." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "You guys are like a bunch of vatos locos, bro." He was like, "You know, I'm Mexican, man. Let me pay tribute to like horror movies in this Day of the Dead style, man. I'll tell you, nobody's ever done anything like this, and like you guys would like benefit." You know, I talked them off the ledge. We did it. I convinced them to give me some type of copyright, so at least offer up some limited edition posters at the time.
Okay.
And I thought it was done. And then year 2 comes around, and they're like, "We're gonna re-release the whole batch all over again, but steel case this time." And I'm like, "Wow, you guys really loved it so much, huh?"
Yeah.
You know, and it was great. It was really cool. I mean, it was something where, you know, it you know, having worked in the industry and worked at so many, you know, creative directors, strategists, illustrators, blah, 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 for all these different agencies and brands, finally going on your own and having my mom go to Walmart or Best Buy and seeing a huge mass display with like the header card and, you know, my name up on there, like they really went to town on it. My mom was just like, "All right, so finally after like, you know, 40 years, this is what you do for a living then." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just not stick figures and naked chicks, yeah," you know?
Right.
You know, but it was great. You know, my brother would like send pictures of him and his grandchildren standing in front of the display in his town, and I'd be like, "Cool." And then like people would send it in, but it was a sick program. You know, I did it all on the run. Seriously, all traveling around.
What was the most challenging one for you to complete, as far as, you know, maybe even just designing out or deciding?
I don't know. 1 second. I just gotta say, Mighty Peter. Oye, ¿qué pasa, vato? Vamos a jugar otra vez en el futuro. Mucho éxito, hermano. Yo, dude, you brought a kid from the Bronx on your show. Of course, I'm going to do shout-outs, man. You know,
I love it.
I'm sorry.
I do not be sorry. I love it. If this was an hour long of fucking shout-outs, I'm putting it up on YouTube. That's what we got. It's the interview I got. I love it.
No, man, I just finished teaming up with like Mighty Peter and DC Schrader on this really cool graphic novel that is just like bombastically super agent, super powerful espionage, little girlfriend, tattoo freak, controlling everything, and it's called Henchman Garcia, you know, or Garcia Henchman.
Oh shit!
And,
okay.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. Seriously. It's, you know, I teamed up with them to do like a commemorative poster, you know, but the shit's fucking hysterical. I hope it gets bought out by Netflix and turned into like, you know, either an animated series or like you know, an actual, you know, live action, you know, series. But anyway.
Sure. Okay.
Keep your eye out for that. Seriously.
Sweet.
But from there on.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know, man. Like, Horror movies, man. They're the type of instigators to life that wants to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't know any other movies that when shit hits the fan, that the individual goes, "Oh fuck, man, I better not be the next person in line like the storyline of this movie, man." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
you
have your
live life for like horror movies, dude. When shit goes good, shit goes bad, you're like, "Oh fuck, what did they do in that movie? I ain't shit, no."
Oh my lord! Sorry, I just had an alarm go on my phone. I don't know. It kicked me out a second there. My fault. Now, we're having all sorts of fun with this interview, man. I've never had my camera zooming in and out. It's The Exorcist. I'm telling
you, man. I think your camera's
Howdy.
Actually possessed, man. I think your camera's actually possessed.
It's old Captain Howdy. I'm having to sit way low down. It's like I'm in a fucking lowrider right now. Just driving.
Now it's gonna,
dear Lord,
dude, man. Now it's gonna start fucking vibrating like the Entity, man. Be careful with that.
right. So let me ask you: if you had the choice to make a combination, a clashing of universes, and you had the opportunity to do like a graphic novel where it included a Marvel universe and a horror universe, what would you combine?
Oh, dude.
I hate to do it.
We would have to do. No, man, no. It's really cool, man. I think I just mentioned it. I think we would have to take like Scarlet Witch meets the Entity.
Ooh, shit. Oh man, yeah, that'd be fucking. Wow.
You go old school, and you go like Wonder Woman versus What Lies Behind the Green Door.
Oh man. Damn.
Oh no, dude! You know what you do, man? Or you go on some Eli Roth tip, man, and you put all of these like Avengers that just like somehow lost a majority of their powers, so like they're functioning at like low 1/4% of their superpowers, and you drop them on like an Eli Roth freaking cannibal infested island, you know?
Oh my god,
that'd be the shit right there. That would be the shit right there.
That would be so sick. Damn, that'd be there's so many different opportunities, and like especially for artists and different people, I love to pick your guys' brains and ask different things like this, just because a little off the wall, but goddamn, the answers that I get with this stuff is amazing. And boy,
meanwhile, 10 years from now, big movie premiere, Avengers versus Eli Roth, cannibals.
Right, we're like, son of a bitch.
Written by the lo-fi horror guy. It's like, hey man, what the hell? Come on.
No, I'll tell you, if I write something, I'm going to get a hold of you. I don't have that creative technology, but I would surely get a hold of you, and it would be a collaborative effort. You were, it was funny. I'm just thinking too. We were just mentioning kind of a goofy interview, and my camera fucking up and everything. When Lloyd was on, he took a piss right on the interview.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me, man.
There was levels
Lloyd can do
that. I was kind of
Lloyd
surprised,
can do that.
And then I was like, well, it's Lloyd Kaufman. He's like, well, you wanted Lloyd Kaufman. Here I am.
You wanted Lloyd Kaufman. Here you go. Yeah, man. If I did that, A, my wife would smack me across the freaking noggin. And B, I think everybody would just be like,
what is this guy doing? Jeez, oh, Pete.
So my sponsorship folks, would be like, oh, no bueno, man. No bueno. No.
Right, cut it. Oh, my
Seriously,
Lord.
Man.
Well,
oh, man, but I did have an idea that I told my wife. I was like, man, you know what we should do, man? I was like, because I live with my father-in-law,
sure.
and he's a rather tall gentleman dude. And I was like, you know what? Too bad I don't have my a Michael Myers mask. But I was like, you know what we should do, man? We should get him the Michael Myers mask, one of my fake butcher knives, and then you come screaming in, totally violate the IG chat, and you come in and you go, no, oh my God, somebody got into your apartment, and like the camera goes swaying off to the side, and like, oh my God, and all of a sudden here comes Dad with like the Michael Myers mask, and just starts hacking me and my wife up, and then he just comes over to the camera and he's like, does one of these like close-up things, like what the hell is this? What's going on? And then he wanders off, and then next thing you know, I'm like coming up with like, the whole cranberry sauce, blood, like, oh my God, get the police, please,
Oh my, I don't know what would have happened. shit.
Dude, I think we'd be on CNN. We'd be like, oh my God, joke gone wrong on Lo-Fi Horror Guy Instagram Live.
Oh.
I think we would have made something special, man. I think that's that's another idea that I have that I got to be able to. I got to be a little bit tight-lipped about what I just described. It's a whole different idea that I'm working out with somebody.
I can.
But imagine that. I mean, would you shit a pickle? Would you care for me? Would you be like, oh, shit? Or would you be like, oh my God, this is the most awesome freaking mini film I've ever seen, man?
I would start looking up the total population in Bogota and just see if it was a feasible goal to actually try to reach out. That'd be my first thing. And then
they're like, hello, yes. What? No, gringo, no gringo, no gringo.
Michael Myers, I'm not fucking with him anyway. Goodbye. He's fucked. Oh my God. Well,
but dude, it would be. I think I would win like an award for like the shortest ultra short horror film ever.
I think we're also onto something here as well. I'll just have to have you on, and we're going to incorporate some of these things and see if we can get them worked out.
No problem, man.
Oh my God! All right, well, this is concluding the chat here. I thank you so much. I do have one more finale question for you, but this is your opportunity. Let us know what you have going on, Orlando. What's new with you, my man? In social medias. Let us know where your social media is.
In social media. I love this. What you got going on in social media? I don't want to know about, like, your bowel movements and what color they're on there.
Well, I mean, you can let us know that too.
No. It's just, when we talk about horror, you have to have that going all the way to, like, that side of the thing.
You do.
But no, man, I don't know, man. Seriously, I've been thankful. The past 3 to 4 weeks have been just back-to-back commissions and collaborations. I mean, I've worn out like the rotary cartilage or gimmicks in my hand one weekend that I was just like, I can't draw, So it's been busy. It's been so busy that I haven't been able to enlighten you folks on my Instagram with anything. Sure. Otherwise, it would be totally going against the contracts. Right. But I'll tell you what, one thing I can mention for all you horror freaks out there and steel book collectors. Oh. That's my cigarette voice, which I used to have like 10 years ago when I used to smoke.
You're speaking right to me. You're talking about horror.
Honestly, dude, I've got so many things going on. I've got Post-it notes all over my damn monitor, keeping me intact. But I just handed off my 30th steel case design with a studio that I've been dying to work with for quite a while. I just finished handing in my 30th for a really, really 1980s type of slasher horror film. I can't mention which one it is. Steel case with Shout Factory.
Oh shit!
And and we talked about what's going to be offered with the steel case, and got to keep your eyes open. There might be really big things available, but who knows? I could be bullshitting right now upon all that, but I got to tell you. I got to tell you the truth. The truth is that I just finished handing off my 30th steel case proudly with Shout Factory, and I hope I get to play with these, with that studio even more because they're just really, really cool to play with. Other than that,
wow.
Yeah, I'm playing with some of the big leaguer guys that I can't even mention the studio name without going against NDA because they're just like, your audience is way too smart. They'll figure it out too fast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
but I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to what's coming out with some of my favorite directors. Like, I'm looking forward to see what Michael Chaves, the guy who did La Llorona, I teamed up with him with Warner Brothers to do the poster for that. One of the posters for that, and I'm always like bugging him. I'm like, dude, I know you got something working on right now. Just let me know, and I'll start kicking some sketches over that way. So.
And anybody watching, don't let this fella be too modest. He works with fucking Marvel, Disney. this guy is absolutely the real deal. It is huge for me, even being able to have this opportunity talking with you, dude. Your stuff is amazing, and you doing something with Shout Factory is fucking huge. So congrats on that.
All right, no problem. Listen, they're calling me for the taco stand. I got to go now and go make some tacos at the corner, man. I'll be back. Take care.
You take care.
Thank you. Oh man, thank you for the positive and gratitude and comments, man. But you know what? I don't know how to deal with that, man. To this day, I just still people are like, oh my god. I'm like, it's whatever, man. I just like to make people happy and make myself happy with like drawing stick figures that have blood pouring out of their necks, and it's okay.
Beautiful.
I'm a psychologist's Rorschach's wet dream.
All right, so for our finale, I thought you were really heading out to a food stand here. So I got a little.
No, man, I was just.
The camera shut off for a second, and yeah. Anyway, so our finale.
You gotta be careful with me, man. I know how to make movies too, man. Just be careful,
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna message you right after this, man. I got a couple of ideas.
It's cool, man. We're gonna have this new thing called Mexifunk Vision. No problem. It's all good.
All right, let me ask you for our finale here. So you have an opportunity to make action figures. All right, you are an action figure fan. You love them. You have to reach out and they say, Orlando, we want you to make 3. Oh shit! All right, I can't get sidetracked. We want you to design 3 horror action figures of any characters that you would like. Who are you gonna make? Oh damn.
Dude, what I would like to make is that I would like to make a version of this guy, right? Wait up. That guy.
Dr. Doom, right? My dude.
Dr. Doom meets Jason Voorhees. Imagine if Jason Voorhees traded in his hockey mask for a Dr. Doom suit, and he acquired all of Dr. Doom's mystical powers of the occult.
Oh my God. Dude, I have to stop. I can't keep talking to you. Shit.
Dude, you know what? My wife and I were watching trailers, right? Trailers on Amazon Prime, and she came across the old trailer for Hellraiser, right?
Yeah.
And it's with Pinhead. Before he becomes Pinhead, he's like in his military garb. He's sitting on the ground and he's playing with the square, right? With the demonic Rubik's cube.
Right.
Right. And we're looking at the actor, God, what's the name of the actor?
Doug Bradley?
I forgot. Doug Bradley. Oh my God. So my wife was like, he looks familiar, and I'm like, dude, if I was to do a freaking Hellraiser remake, not only would I try to bring back Bradley, but I would also bring onto the stage that actor who was Agent Smith in The Matrix. And have him be like some type of symbiotic, like Jane's Addiction, like brother connected at the hip type of thing.
Oh my God!
Seriously, you know what I mean?
That would be so sick. I mean, has this been something you've been thinking about for a long time?
Dude, just a second ago, I even lied. My wife wasn't even in the room, man. No. It happened last night, dude. Honestly, it happened last night.
Damn.
In plain darkness, and she was like, "Whoa, that's a really good idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, too bad I'm not too big on writing." You know what I mean?
Man, stop it. You look, man. You're the shark, Orlando. You got to push on through. You got to start this shit, man. You're the next breed coming up.
Next break, dude. I'm rocking 48, man. I'm about to retire, man. Are you kidding me?
Maybe from
I wasn't kidding about that taco stand, man. That taco stand is in my life goal, man. It's in my reach.
Man, that'd be beautiful.
Remember the whole Thriller night of the whole thing from 1978 TV shows, man?
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Thriller feature. Yeah, no, man. I love horror. I really do,
man.
I wish there was more good horror, but dude, we're on the rise. Seriously, a lump in like horror production and independent horror, and now I'm seeing such a spike that it's. I don't have enough popcorn, man.
right.
I applaud all you writers and directors, of like the independent horror movies. Dude, keep it going. Don't give up, man. Just. I love it. Love it. You guys are just rocking my world.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. Well, Orlando, this is our time, my man. The app only gives us an hour, and this is wrapping in on us. So, look, I'm going to have to reach back out, and we're going to have to do this again. This was so fun, man. You're amazing. I appreciate your time, honestly.
Hey, man, I had a great time. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I hope I didn't freak you guys out too much.
Right. This will be edited on YouTube by this next week here, so I'll have the full interview on YouTube. Stabbings and all.
Oh, dude, seriously, man. You know, instead of playing Orlando on the YouTube channel, they're gonna be like the Snorks or like the Smurfs or some shit.
Nice.
Dude, that's another thing, man. They should develop like a whole animated horror series of like old 80s and 90s children cartoons and just have a whole different series, you know, on Netflix, you know. What goes wrong when the Smurfs, you know, venture into summer camp, you know what I mean? Crystal Lake.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah.